Happy Friday, everybody, and welcome back to another weekly budget with me video. We're going to be budgeting out the fourth paycheck of April 2022, which happens to be the 22nd. I like to do a yearly budget, and I also do a monthly budget, and then I go on every single paycheck, and I also balance my checkbook throughout the week as well. So we follow a zero-based budget, so if you're interested in that, let's go jump on the Excel sheet. You can use paper, you can use whatever you like, but if you'd like to purchase my template, it is for sale on Etsy and the link is down below. So the first thing I do on my weekly budgets is I'm going through my husband's pay stub and I'm just making sure that his income matches what I budgeted and that the taxes and withholdings came out, that those match as well. And then I want to make sure I'm allocating the money properly to cover bills or any type of goals that we might have had. So I also like to include my viewers' comments on these videos. So thank you so much for those of you who took the time to comment from last week. I had 9 different comments. Lefty's Wifey says, always enjoy watching all your videos. Great job. So thank you for your comment. And then Amanda has a great question. I love that you guys get paid weekly. Do you like that? Or do you feel like it's more work because you have to update the budget more? So great question. I actually go on the budget even more than weekly because on the side of my budget template, I also use this as like my accounts tracker, my balancing my accounts. So I'm on here actually anytime money is being spent. So if I have bills I know, if I have bills that are coming out of this necessities account, I'm going on there to make sure that the right amount came out, that the amount came out on the right date. If we spent anything on the credit card, I'm updating my card numbers over here and possibly updating the budget if we went over what we originally budgeted. So I'm going over that even more so. So I encourage you guys, even if you don't get paid every week, at least be looking at your accounts on a weekly basis. And yes, I do love the fact that we get paid every single week because it helps us to cash flow a little bit better. So thank you. First thing we do, the income. So I've already gone through everything and updated it, so I'm gonna try to go through this a little quick today. I have to get to my daughter's school. Both of my daughters made the honor roll for the 4th time this year, the 4th quarter of the school year. My oldest daughter actually was principal list, so principal list means straight A's, honor roll means A's and B's, so I'm totally proud of my daughters. So yeah, if you want to give them a shout out, that'd be great. So my husband made the regular base pay, the $1,200. These are calculated. I like to calculate everything before taxes and before health insurance deductions and all that. His overtime was $450, and I brought over $221.21 from getting paid from YouTube. So that's what we had for the week. We put $520 into our emergency fund. Our goal is $3,200. I switched this from $3,600. So the $3,600 included $400 worth of 1 month of food, but we now officially have 1 month of food in the pantry. So I no longer need that cash. So next week I changed it. Instead of doing $520, we're doing $120. So we already had $1,000 saved from the 2 months before. So we're adding that $2,200. So we should have that done by the end of next week. The next category was the giving category. I mentioned last week that it was Easter, so I asked a few of you if you were doing anything for your kids, and so we had a few comments here. So Amanda also mentioned, she says she doesn't have any kids, so she didn't buy any Easter stuff, but sometimes she does buy things for her husband or her nieces and nephews, but they didn't do anything this year because Easter just snuck up on you. So yeah, I know the year is going by so fast. I feel like everything is just sneaking up on everybody. And then Jillian also mentions that she did buy just a few chocolates for Easter's for her kids, but that was it, nothing crazy. So I did do Easter baskets. We saved the baskets and I reused those after every year. But I did buy a lot of candy, which the kids already ate, and like 2 small toys. So that was last week. So our taxes, this is what it was on the pay stub. So $53 for federal, $21.45 for state, $23.93 for Medicare, and $102.30 for Social Security. I'm anticipating the same amount next week because we're anticipating the same pay for my husband next week. Coming down, we're trying to build up that mortgage that's due on the 1st, the mortgage payment. So we added $361.44 into our saving to the $155 and the $394. So next week we're still going to need $523.67 to make that mortgage payment. We are cutting it really close this month, but that's just because I really wanted to focus on getting that 1 month of expenses in the emergency fund. So I'm glad that's going to be taken care of. I've already went grocery shopping, so we went to Walmart. I spent $146.42 on food type items. Some of this was the tortoise food. 107 was our actual grocery money, and then the rest was stocking up. Like I mentioned, we're building up that stockpile. We're trying to do 3 months worth of all of our dinners and then like a month worth of everything else. So we'll kind of see how much longer it takes us to build that up. We spent $15 on personal care, so we got toilet paper and a pack of chapstick. $19.42 on household items, so we got another laundry detergent, and then something else Ricky got, I don't really remember. And the water, we also filled up a few of our 5-gallon water jugs, so that's included in the grocery budget as well. We're gonna have $100 for gas. Last week we spent $99.49, so we're gonna leave it at $100. I did fill up last week, whereas the other 2 weeks I didn't really fill up. So this week maybe I won't, maybe it'll be less, we'll see. The motorcycle. So my husband was, I mentioned this last week that he kind of wrecked his motorcycle. He was not hurt, luckily. It wasn't like an accident into anything. It was literally, he had a new front tire on. He didn't break it in properly. So when he went to turn the corner, the bike just slid out from underneath him. And when he replaced his front tire, he forgot to put on the tank guard. So if he would have had that tank guard, it's kind of like a metal piece that sticks out from the motorcycle. If he would have had that on there, nothing would have got damaged other than maybe the mirror. The oil pan and the mirror and the siding, that type of stuff was damaged. So he replaced all that, and then his front rim was bent up a little bit, so he had to replace the rim. So yeah, but he's fine. Everything's good there. So we do have a few comments. We do have a few comments related to that. So we had a lot of you saying that you're glad he's okay. Thank you. So Leslie Colors of Avon, she says, sorry about Ricky's bike. Amanda says, I am glad Ricky is okay. The bike can always be fixed. That's right. Jillian says, I'm glad, or I hope he didn't get hurt. So yeah, he didn't get hurt. She said, I've fallen off my bike before and it's no fun. Yeah, so I ride motorcycles as well. I'm actually the one that got Ricky to get his motorcycle license, and I've had two motorcycles before, and I've laid down both of them. And it's something as simple as doing a U-turn, hitting the gravel wrong, and just over you go. You know what I mean? So luckily it wasn't like an accident. Mike said, glad Ricky's okay. Don't forget to get a new helmet if there's any contact at all. Yes, there was, absolutely, but fortunately there was no contact to the helmet, so he only had to fix those few things on the bike. He said, bikes and gear are replaceable, family isn't. That's right. And then Kevin says, you should explore the cost of full coverage, because I mentioned we don't have full coverage on the motorcycle. We just have liability. Honestly, with this type of situation, we wouldn't have filed an insurance claim anyways, because it wasn't really an accident. We wouldn't want to worry about rates and stuff going up later. Plus the bike is already, it's a salvaged bike to begin with, so there's really no, that particular bike, they would, at the very most they might give him $1,000, if that, anyways, if it were to replace the bike. So we just cash flow that in this situation. But if we had a newer bike or a bike that wasn't salvaged, or it was a more expensive bike, it was worth more money, then yeah, we would think about that. But he was able to get extra coverage on his truck for only $8 a month, so that's really good. And Lisa says, each week after I watch your videos, I check my budget, and it keeps me accountable too, and it keeps me intentional with spending, saving, meal planning. So thank you. Have a good week. Thank you. And then Heather says, so pleased Ricky's okay. Stay in the truck. Yes, Ricky, stay in the truck. Stay in that truck. But yeah, so we ended up cash flowing the repairs. He did end up fixing the cosmetic sides. I thought he was going to hold off on it, but he didn't. So he spent $515 on fixing the bike. But we already agreed we're not putting any more money into this bike. Like I mentioned, it was originally a salvage bike anyways. We bought it for a couple $1,000s. He's already put a couple $1,000s into it. It looks good though. He has a few things to finish with this weekend, but otherwise it's drivable. It's ready to go again. That's fine. I put the $222 from the YouTube income. I put that, it's going to go towards an extra payment on the teardrop. So this has gone down slightly. I did not deliver for Amazon Flex this week. And then we did end up eating out at Wendy's, so we spent $31.12. We got beer for the house, which was $25.58. And then Ricky also bought some more. He bought new boots, and then his, NOS and stuff for the week. So $179.32. So we have zeros on the bottom of our budget because we've told everything where to go. And it's a zero now. So like I mentioned, I've already gone on the bank account. I transferred everything to where it needs to go. I've already made the payment onto the credit card. So that's it for the month. It's a real short video today, you guys. Have a good weekend, and I will see you next week with May's monthly budget video. As always, thanks for watching. If you leave a comment, I'll be sure to share it next week. Bye.